Hello everyone, this is Davinator12 here, and welcome to a special video. We have finally received the JOJOLands Chapter 9. In this video, I'm going to quickly review it and going over it, and I'm so excited guys because I just barely read it and it's so crazy. It's interesting that my last video was a ChatGPT talking about the JOJOLands ending, and now reading the JOJOLands officially, it's just so cool, and I think one of the predictions is on point. Sorry for the background noise, it's just a wind turbine. Anyway, let us start with the JOJOLands. So in the beginning, we get an awesome cover of Dragona, the missing luxury watch. Its location only the lava rock knows. So this is foreshadowing later. And then we start off this chapter with Jodio's mom calling Jodio. Now, this exchange doesn't really matter because it foreshadows Paco's surprise later in this chapter. So it's giving you like a foreshadow moment in the chapter itself. Anyway, we see Paco and Jodio still looking around like in last chapter. And throughout that time, Paco and Jodio are thinking, where did these cat heads come from? And then I like it to point this out. Paco says something about this is something the mafia would do. Or someone even lower than that. And oh my god. I don't know if Araki's just messing with us because this is kind of like part 5, this story that we're speculating it is. But if it is the mafia or like an organization like a mafia or like a gang, this would be super interesting, or just an individual. But this is just super, super cool. Anyway, it continues on and Jodio talks about how he saw a map and talks about the person was probably following Rohan and wants the rock for themselves, and he talked about a map he saw. Then we switch over to Usagi and Dragona laying out all their stuff on the table, showing that they don't have the watch, showing their stuff to the shop owner and the bodyguards. Later, they talk about how they can't keep them there because that's against human rights. They gaslight them. Hell yeah! Anyway, then they look at the security footage and we find out Dragona actually took the watch. But not just Dragona, but her stand smooth operators. So this is crazy because Dragona didn't even consciously use smooth operators. So what that means is that the lava rock can control stands for this mechanism to work as well. And Dragona says this probably happened with a diamond back at Rohan's place. Meaning that this rock can control people's stands if it needs to. Which is crazy. Which actually could make sense. And if you watched my previous video on what is actually a stand, we can assume that this rock can control stand energy if need be. Which is super cool. And this can tie into a blessing from the earth or Jesus Christ himself. We will see. Anyway, we see like the shop owner and bodyguards trying to get the watch back from Dragona. But then Usagi sees that the watch is actually on the shop owner's shoe. And they apologize, but for some reason it keeps slipping, and we can assume it's smooth operators moving it around. But Dragona's doing it unconsciously or unknowingly. And it's really interesting because Dragona says, I'm starting to understand this rock, and that watch will eventually come back to me. So that's super cool. And then we head back to Jodio and Paco, and all of a sudden, Paco comes back with the chicken burritos. And then the panel after that, we see 2 Pacos. And immediately, Jodio looks behind him.
If you're
Paco.
then who's that?
the villain is right behind him. And this panel looks like a disguise, right? And it's crumbling away like rock. Or it could be the stand ability. We don't know. But I don't know. I feel like the villain's head shape is more is smaller than Paco's face. I feel like, I don't know, it just looks super cool. It's like, oh my god, our Araki is cooking right now, and the villain pulls out a knife and stabs Jodio in the neck, kind of like what Lucy did to President Valentine. So we'll see what happens next chapter. Anyway, this is a banger of a chapter. Go check it out. Well, anyway, this is just me fanboying about JOJOLands Chapter 9. And this is Davinator12 signing off.
You're too slow!
They meant to, my dear Watson.
We are Venom. I'm Batman.